Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. Thank you for joining me. We're going to work on some ornaments this week, and we're going to incorporate some of the things that I've shown you in the last couple weeks to make these ornaments. So I did a partial pour on the angel taper and on the Christmas taper for the Santa Claus, and I used the hot glue to make a dam so I'm not wasting resin product. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this guy, but I'm going to spray paint these guys, or these gals in this case. So I'm going to take these outside and give them a spray. I am going to be using looking glass on one of them. And then these are what I have. So use whatever you have, or, you know, just go get a silver or a gold or whatever you're wanting for the project. And then I have this one, which is a dark steel, which is a silver. So while we're waiting for the silver to dry, I'm going to go ahead and do a top coat of white over the top of this guy. And I'm using DIY's White Swan. And I'm just doing kind of a top coat over the whole thing, kind of like a primer. Although some of it will still show through, like his face, part of his face, and definitely the beard. And you want to go ahead and paint the back too once the front's dry. But I like to, it makes it a little easier to paint the secondary color. And that way you're not having to go in and do little brushwork in his face to cover like his cheeks and his skin. So now that he's dry on both sides, I'm going to take a little bit of green aviary, and I'm going to do him in his little hat in green. You can do whatever color you'd like, but you'll see why I'm doing green for this particular one. I can tell I didn't get the sides completely dry because it's a little bit of it's coming off. And you'll want some smaller brushes to do this part, and hopefully steadier hands than mine. I'm just getting the cap part. Try to get into those creases. From there, I'm going to paint his hat white and the pom-pom. And of course, I put my finger right into that green wet paint. I should have hit it with a hairdryer, but I did not. So I'll have to do a little bit of touch up there, but the reason why I wanted the little bit of contrast between the kind of a little bit off-white and the white is this way it makes his face pop a little bit. We will do other things to add, but by painting the white around where the hat is, shows his face a little bit better. All right, and then I'm gonna get his eyebrows a little bit with the white. This is where having a steady hand is a good thing. I'm just using the tip of the brush to just kind of just go down on it. Just hitting the edge. There we go. So I want my Santa to have blue eyes. So I'm just taking a toothpick and I'm just gonna go in there carefully, kind of dotting. And if you don't get it, then just paint over. And you could also do this with like a Sharpie. That would probably be a super easy way to do it. There we go. So as we know, Santa's cheeks have got to be rosy. So we're going to grab a red. And I'm going to grab Marquee. So I grab my plate because I want to be able to put just a little bit of red in there. And then I want to put a little bit of white, or you could just, you know, if you've got a pink, absolutely use a pink. But this is what I have available really close to me. So I'm just going to mix it up. And that is way too red still. So I'm gonna use my finger and just get it in there. There we go. That's much better. Okay, because we need it just to be a very light color. So now I'm going to add a little bit of water and just do a dollop. But we just basically want to make a wash. We don't want it to be super thick. We need it to be just kind of light. And we're going to go in and we're going to dab his cheeks. And then we're going to do a little bit of color on his nose. Don't worry if it looks like it's too much. And then a little bit on his mouth. So now I'm going to take this baby wipe. Just going to go and do a quick just to kind of lighten it up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of letterpress gray DIY, and same thing, I'm just going to really water this one down though. It's going to be super, super watered down because I just want just a smidge of color. Now I know Santa's beard is supposed to be white as snow. Yes, but I feel like he needs a little bit of, just a little bit of color on there, just to kind of give highlights and lowlights in it. So I'm just going to take a flat brush, just going to lightly go over his beard. I feel like I don't have enough color. I watered it down so much. There we go. And if you feel like you got too much, you can just wipe it back. And that's one of the nice things about DIY paint is it's until you wax it or put your top coat, you can just keep playing with it and wiping it back, and it'll stay workable. But I think that is too gray. So I'm going to take my baby wipe and I'm just going to come, because we just want it a little bit, and see how that just kind of gets in the nooks and crannies there. That's what we're wanting. So these are my little silver angels. This one here is with the dark steel, and this one is with the glass mirror paint. I like the way it turns out if you're spraying it on something other than glass. It kind of has a vintagey feel to it, where this is definitely very shiny and very, very silver, which is fine. I just prefer her. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to take this cute little Christmas tree here, and I'm going to cut off cut this off, and I'm going to leave a little bit of the stem. So next what I want to do is I want to drill a hole in the bottom of my angel here. And I'm going to find the center, and I got the smallest drill bit I had. And it doesn't have to be very deep. It's just got to be deep enough to get the wire of the tree in there. Put a little bit of glue onto this. And I don't think I'm going to put it all the way in there. I think I'm just going to have it sticking out a smidge. So remember last week we did bows, and if you didn't see that, I made this contraption so it makes bow making easy because it's something I struggle with. And so I just took some of this crinkled up ribbon and made a bow, and we're going to add it right here. I'm going to go ahead and drill another hole. And it's going to have to be a little bit bigger of a hole this time, just because that is a little thicker. If I was going with this, then I think I would go ahead and use the same size drill bit I used for the tree. I'm going to flip it over because it's always easier to start on a flat surface. Oop. There we go. Go ahead and tie that. Get the bow and go ahead and just put a little dollop of hot glue on that and put it right there on her. All right, and that one is done. So I'm going to set her aside. So I thought I had a green tree the same size as this, and I didn't. So I ran to the dollar store, and I was hoping I could get basically this color, but in the smaller one, and they were restocking, so they didn't have any. So I went ahead and got this green snowy one, and we're going to go forward with that. But because this is a little bit bigger, I want my bow to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go with this one here. I did do up a couple and kind of played with it and see what I liked. And just glue that one on. And because his little snowball up there, even though this is in resin, this can break if you're not careful. I mean, it's pretty sturdy, but so I don't want to drill a bigger hole than that. And so I have this, which has got the green in it, but I can't get that through the hole. I don't think. I can give it a try, but I don't think yeah, it's too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this. So then I can use the ivory part of this or white part of this later. And it kind of gives a cool effect too, because see, it's kind of springy, and that will then fit through the hole. And just trim those. There I go. So that's it for this week. These are our cute little bottle brush tree ornaments. If you have any questions, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com, and thank you so much for joining me. Bye.